Warning, this podcast is intended for adult audiences only. We discuss sex and sexual relationships in a frank and open manner. We are not marriage and family therapist or sex therapist, and the content provided is for informational and entertainment purposes only. If you are under the age of 18 or do not wish to hear explicit discussions about sex and sexual relationships or adult language, then you shouldn't listen any further. But if you are, well, grab your seat, grab a drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of The Accidental Swingers.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome to The Accidental Swingers podcast.
Episode 47.
There you go. Here we are.
Here we are.
We're back.
We're back.
For a moment, anyways. It's always good to be back. It's not that it's not good to be back. It's always good to be back.
It's great to be back.
Yes, it is. So
and on YouTube.
Yeah. This will be on YouTube for sure for anybody who wants to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to do that more also.
Yes, we are.
Yes, which adds a whole nother layer of I can't just sit down and do this. I actually have to put on makeup and things. And although this is as good as this gets.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah.
But just like the last time when you got caught in a rainstorm, at least I didn't get caught in a rainstorm today.
Yeah, that was not my best luck.
No, bless your heart. Bless your heart for letting us post that anyways, because I said, oh yeah, I apologize that we never got a chance to even look at that and even think about it. I was so caught up in the episode itself and what we were talking about that I never really looked at it. And then when we looked at it, I said, oh babe, we didn't even have you comb your hair. I don't even know what we were thinking.
Yeah, I looked like a drowned rat.
Yeah, you did. Thank you for letting us.
But it was important content, so for the greater good.
Yeah. So.
I can subordinate my vanity.
So if you want to check that one out, it's episode 46.
See how shitty I look?
Yeah.
Right.
It's episode 46 on our YouTube channel. So there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're back, and we wanted to come in. We've had some stuff happen. We'll bring everybody up to date. But we just kind of wanted to do a catch-up episode, a little bit of what's happening now since we had the episode that told everybody what was going on with me, or part of what was going on with me. So we want to kind of catch everybody up. Before we do that, we have a lot of stuff that's coming up and a lot of stuff that we do want to talk about, which is part of why we wanted to make sure to get something out sooner than later. We have been having some fun. We've been doing some stuff, and we're going to talk about it. So what do you want to talk about first?
Well, let's just talk about what we've been up to. And so in the last episode, I talked about the Tampa Roddick Cinco de Mayo takeover. And I alluded to the fact that there was another takeover being put on by Tampa Roddick that was coming up in the third weekend of August, which was the back to school takeover, which has already happened because as we talk now, it's September 1st. And we had an amazing time yet again with this organization, and this is only their second takeover. And I'm going to say it was better than the first one. And the first one, I talked about how they just knocked it out of the park. And so we're super excited that we have this in our area now, that they're, I'm going to talk in a second about what's coming up next for them. But we're thrilled that we have this other outlet now of other events that we can go to in our own backyard.
Yeah.
And that are so well run. And this one was incredibly well run. The first one this was even better. And so they're just, I'm super jazzed. And we had an amazing time.
We did. It was so much fun. They're a great group. Mm-hmm. They're a great group of folks that are putting this on, the Tampa Roddick team. And they, and the folks there, also the attendees. I mean, we just had a blast. Yeah. It was so much fun. And just a great group of people.
Yeah. Yeah. Lots of people that we have known, some for years, lots of people that we met for the first time. And just, so a nice mix of old friends, new friends. It was fantastic. We had a great time, and we can't wait till the next one, which is November 4th. Mm-hmm. And this is going to be a one night. It's not going to be a hotel takeover. Right. It's being billed as like an overnight meet and greet.
Right.
Meaning it is being held at a hotel in the St. Pete Clearwater area, but it's not a takeover. But there are going to be designated floors that are going to be, exclusive to the Tampa Roddick group, but it's not a complete takeover. So we have to behave ourselves in the common areas of the hotel, which I assume we can do.
Right.
But so the point is, it's going to be, a place where we can all get together, have fun, party, meet and greet. And then if more arises out of that, then there will be spaces to do that too.
Yes. Well, we'll be in a hotel.
Yes.
Which helps a lot.
It does help a lot.
If you are thinking that playing might be in your future, then being in the hotel right there sure does make that a lot easier. Yes.
Very convenient.
I think we're also gonna try and talk to the Tampa Roddick group and do something with them so they can come in and talk about what their events are like and things like that. And I would love to do that before. Maybe we'll do that in the next couple of weeks because to get folks to kind of learn what this event is about because it is a different spin. It's a different spin on doing things, but we talk about going to. I think this is what spurred this on. We all actually ended up at a meet and greet, a different event, and because we're all in the same area, we all were kind of there. It wasn't planned, but they were there. And we talked about the fact that it was so challenging because it was a meet and greet at a bar and you couldn't really go anywhere or do anything.
Right.
And you couldn't really hear because it was a loud bar and dances club. It was a lot of fun. It was a super fun event, but it was kind of like, well, what do we do now?
Right.
And I think that that's where that came from. But if not, that's still a very clever idea because we're going to be doing the meet and greet piece. But then the what do we do now is you're right there. So you can either go, they're going to have playrooms set up and some different areas set up, and you don't even have to go play if you don't want to. So I think it'll be, it's a cool idea of a neat spin on something else. So we'll see how that all works out. So I'm super excited to work with the team at Tampa Roddick.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait. So that was, 2 weeks ago? Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago that we went to that party. Coming up, and we were at Caliente this past weekend. We had a great time, as always, at Caliente, and we just love going there. Coming up at Caliente, this is Thursday, September 21st through Sunday, September 4th. We're going to be there the entire weekend. We're staying on property from Thursday through Sunday. And this is going to be a celebration of the Caliente fan page Unofficial on Facebook, which our good friends Kimberly and Steve founded 3 years ago? A couple years ago, but it's going over 8,000 members now, which is a huge milestone.
They probably already are.
Yeah,
I think the plan was to celebrate the fact that holy cow, their page is going over 8,000 members, and Caliente said, "Do you guys want to have a party?" We're like, "Yeah, we do.
Always want to have a party, especially at Caliente."
So Kimberly and Steve said, "Heck yes," and they are dear friends of ours, and we love Caliente, and they said, "Will you guys kind of help us host it?" We said, "Absolutely."
Absolutely.
So we're really excited to have an entire weekend that's kind of honoring Caliente members. I mean, not even members, honoring people that just
people
go.
Who love Caliente.
I mean, that's what it is. It's all just, it's just a way to say thank you. And so they are, well, you talk about some of the things they have planned. Do you know what they have planned?
Yeah, so Thursday night's Ladies' Night. It is every Thursday night at Caliente. And then Friday there's going to be...
I think we're doing like pineapple dress down on Ladies' Night or something like that. Wasn't there something
special?
Yeah.
If you go to... find us on SDC and join our SDC group, and I've put some things in there, and I'll go ahead and repost. But so it's I think it's a pineapple theme. Friday night is going to be a meet and greet inside. So they always have meet and greets on Friday nights at Caliente, but this one's going to be in the dance club, in the nightclub. And it's going to be specific for, and Kimberly and Steve and we are going to co-host it. And it's just going to be a get to know us and come and get to know, and all the other people within the Facebook page can get to know each other in person because, they've been chatting for a long time and now they get to actually meet each other in person.
So we're really hoping that the folks that are super active in the community, in the Facebook, Caliente fan page Facebook community, are able to come as well because it is really about us getting to know each other from everybody that's been chatting within that group for a really long time. It's just kind of offering the space to come together if you can. So we're hoping that a lot of folks, and we've got some good interaction on the Facebook page about it. So and we've talked to quite a few people and we're like, you should come. And they're like, we are totally going to be there. If not for the whole weekend, we'll definitely be there. So we're excited to meet everybody and hang out with everyone. And it's a special treat.
It really is. It really is. And then Saturday, there's going to be a foam party.
That's right.
And the Caliente foam parties are a lot of fun. And the last two that we've been to are in the main pool. I assume this is going to be in the main pool also. It's where all the people are at this time of year, at least. And so that'll be fun. And then at night, it's the super sexy uniform party. So
wear your sexy uniforms.
Yeah, well, you're looking at it here, babe. So I don't know if if I'm going to qualify, but I have some ideas for you, possibly.
Oh, you do, do you?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I guess we'll have to see what that is.
Yeah.
Or maybe you guys will have to come out and see what Tristan has decided I should wear for a sexy uniform.
I never decide what you're going to wear, but
Tristan has ideas for something that I should wear.
Try to influence. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see what this entails.
Yeah. So
I'm intrigued.
Well,
the mystery.
We'll see what we can what we can drum up for you.
Okay. Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So sexy uniform. Who knows what Myrina will be dressed as? We'll see.
Yep. I can pretty much guarantee.
I have an idea of something that I thought about, but I don't know.
All right. Well, we can collaborate because I can pretty much guarantee what I'm going to be. My uniform is going to be my standard issue.
Skippy.
I'm going out to a club. Uniform.
Oh, yours is? Yeah.
It's
khaki pants and a button-down shirt?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Very cool.
Yeah.
You could wear scrubs, and that could be your doctor uniform.
For years, that was my my fallback Halloween costume.
Yeah.
Whenever I would take the kids around trick-or-treating.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I have nothing to do with the medical field whatsoever. I just happen to have scrubs left over from the birth of both children.
No, I was going to say, you remember why, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. No, I know.
And we'll actually be at Caliente for Halloween this year, too, speaking of Halloween.
Yes.
Really fast.
Yeah. And speaking of getting dressed up, and I will...
Yeah, we have our outfits pseudo planned for that. Yeah. So we have outfits for that, and so we'll be there for Halloween and New Year's.
Yeah, exactly.
Do that too. They're doing a combo ticket. You can get, and it's food. It's food that's included. It's a lot of food and dessert type items and things like that. So it's a fun time. Yeah, and
those are Halloween and New Year's are the biggest events at Caliente, and so those are both ticketed events, and so you'll need to purchase tickets separately, and which you can do through our website if you go to our events page. And as Myrina mentioned, if you buy both tickets together, there's a combo rate reduction, and so that saves $100 per person for Caliente members and $80 per person for non-members. So it's definitely worth going to both because they're both going to be amazing and a lot of fun. And,
they are the biggest parties of the year there, and so there's just a ton of people. It's just always a great time. Everybody's happy and obviously having a really good time. So, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we can't wait for that, and so that's coming up. So October 28th is the Halloween party, and obviously New Year's is December 31st. So there's still plenty of time to get ready.
Get your call. Yeah, if you think you want to do both, do both. Get the combo ticket and do both.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So as far as events are concerned, that's pretty much what we've been up to. As far as we're concerned, kind of the biggest thing going on for us is we're shifting the way that we're doing our private community.
Yes.
And we're going to go from the model that we've been using for the last 2 years to Discord. And we're looking for a more vibrant, engaging community. And we feel like from our experience with our last 2 Naughty New Orleans Discord groups, we think that Discord's going to be a lot better platform for that and a lot more conducive to the sort of interaction and the sort of engagement that we want to get and that we want to have for our community members.
Right.
And so we want to give them the best experience we can, and we think that we'll be able to give them a better experience through this platform.
So if you're interested in that, right now it is still just set up for the private paid community members. And then we are going to be doing an open type of a membership drive, maybe to call it. I don't know. We're going to be doing something that's special for a month or so that people can kind of get in and also come into the community at a discounted rate, and that will probably be in a couple of months. So if you're part of the membership community now, you will see that change. I've made the announcement. We've been talking about it. That shift should happen actually this coming week, and then we'll all get in there, make sure everybody's used to it, everybody having a good time. What are we missing? What do we need to add to the space? But it's such a great space and a place where we've done the last 2 naughty chat groups, and it's just been great. So it shouldn't take long. Everybody will adapt to it very, very quickly, and it's a lot of fun there because we can share a lot more stuff than we could on the other platform because their rules were a little more
restrictive,
particular about what swingers would share with each other, and swingers like to share. They do.
Yes, we do.
And so since figures like to share, we wanted people to be able to share. So we're going to set up some spaces and places for you guys to share a little bit naughtier stuff if you want. So
yes.
we'll be able to do that as well. So we're excited about that. So it'll be good. It'll be good. Lots of fun stuff happening. So even though you guys don't hear from us, we are still constantly working behind the scenes. We've got some other things that are happening this fall that are coming up. The ability to do the Caliente event is just so fun. We're so excited about that. And it's just wonderful.
Yeah.
All this stuff. And meeting everybody is wonderful. And so are we done with talking about this kind of stuff? I'm going to kind of go
pretty much. I mean, we can go into what we're going to talk about tonight, which, and we mentioned in the last episode that we're going to start mixing things up about how we're not going to go strictly chronologically. We're not going to just talk about what we did a couple years ago, which is important for people to hear because that shows the transition and our progression in the lifestyle. But, we're going to start kind of moving into where we are now.
Right.
Including tonight.
Yes, honey, very good.
Yeah, which is something that happened last week.
It is. So, we're gonna fast forward to real time practically. So what I wanted to say is, so this episode is on the heels of the last episode that we did, and we actually have recorded kind of our debrief of Naughty in New Orleans, and it ended up being really super long, which is a super long edit. And so I just haven't gotten to it because my vanilla job and other stuff are taking over. So on that same vein, talking about life and things, I first of all want to thank everybody so much. I'll probably get a little bit weepy. So much for the outpouring of love and support and friendship and love and more love that you guys gave me after us talking about what I'm struggling with a couple months ago on the last episode, on episode 46. For those of you who didn't listen, I'm a midlife woman and my body is starting to experience some of those changes, and it's been really challenging going from an incredibly reawakened, sexually active, diverse woman who has rediscovered herself into now something that doesn't feel good. And so it's been really challenging. And Tristan and I went on and talked about it in episode 46, and you guys can listen to that. And it was really just talking more about my struggles at a very high level. So we're continuing through with this process, and things are getting a little bit better. But I will have to say that thank you, everybody, for all of your thoughts and ideas and advice. And I still owe emails to some people, and I will get them to you, I promise. If you sent me an email, I promise I will respond back. It's been really challenging. And one of the things I was saying today to somebody, actually I was talking to Kimberly and Steve, and I said, I think I've realized that a lot of my kind of anxiety and depression are manifesting themselves in, it's not procrastination because that's not the right word, but it's like I just can't do the stuff. And so it's really hard to do the stuff sometimes. And this is not me. It's not what I'm used to. And so that's been really challenging. That kind of gives you guys an idea of what I just can't even do. It's like hard to sit down and craft an email that talks about something that's not comfortable. And so instead of, I'm not the type of person that just goes, gee, thanks, and sends an email. I mean, I want to write an email. And so that's been challenging. And so a lot of this leads into those types of things. So it's been really challenging. And I shared on the the episode that we've recorded for Naughty in New Orleans. Like, I did not have a super sexy time in New Orleans, and I had a lot of fun. It was amazing. We met amazing people. But boy, it was really challenging for me because I was really struggling, and I had some tough times, some tough moments, some tough hours there, just from all of the emotion and everything kind of kicking in. So it was a different kind of event for me, and I was not feeling sexy or vibrant or anything. So I didn't push it, and that was okay. And everybody was, again, met amazing people, wonderful people, and had fun, and it was fabulous. But I still just never had any kind of that that feeling, that peace. And then we had Tampa Roddick a couple weekends ago. Again, super fun, amazing. Actually, that time felt a little bit more sexy. Was feeling some vibe with some of you folks, and you know who you are. If you're, might hit you up later. Anyways, nothing really kind of came to fruition, but it was the first time in a really long time that I felt good. Like it felt fun. And it wasn't a chore, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So that was super fun, and it really kind of set the stage a little bit for me. So I want to talk a little bit about what happened this past week. I had a little bit of a hotwife adventure. We'll put it that way. Mm-hmm. Myrina's accidental hotwife adventure, because it really was accidental. So I had to go to Colorado for a conference. In going to that conference, I have a friend that sometimes when I travel, I'm able to meet up with him. And it turned out at this particular conference that he was going to be in the same area. And so we decided to try and meet. He travels a lot. I travel a lot. And so when our paths cross, we like to try and meet. So I knew that I was going to be able to connect with him. And he's an amazing man. I so enjoy his company. We could probably sit and talk for hours. I know you guys find that very surprising. What? Myrina could sit and talk for hours? But I can, because that's who, you guys know, that's who I find sexually attractive. And that's kind of part of my own kind of foreplay, is like super intellectual talking. And so I love spending time with him, and then we get to be together, and it's just awesome. So I always look forward to seeing him. So I knew that was going to happen, and I knew I was going to be out of town for 4 nights, and I knew that I was going to be able to connect with him at some point in time. He's a lover. I've known him for a while. He knows what's going on with me. There was no pressure. There was no we don't even have to play. It's just an amazing man that's in my life. And so, but I was looking forward to connecting with him and playing with him, because it's been a while. So, but it was wonderful. I mean, so I knew that was coming. So then, it also turned out that a playmate of mine was also going to be in the same place, actually at the same conference. Mm-hmm. And we have connected before, and so, but never really had an opportunity to spend any significant time together in any kind of a play capacity. Let's put it that way. So we knew it was on the table, and it was something we'd always talked about, but it kind of taking it to the next level, we'll put it that way. So it turned out that I got a call from him a couple weeks before the event, and he said, "Hey, turns out I'm going to this event." And I said, "Oh, holy shit, that's awesome. I'm going to be there also." Unfortunately, Tristan is not traveling with me at this particular time, because I do travel by myself. And so I said, well, but that's not an issue. So, hey, let's see if we can connect, and can we arrange it so that our paths can cross. And so that was kind of a goal there. So I knew I was going to be able to see my dear friend, and now I'm going to be able to possibly connect with my other friend that we finally would be able to connect. So that was fantastic, and I was really looking forward to it, and I was kind of getting excited about the fact that this could come up. And again, though, dear friend, so I had to tell him what's going on. This is what's happening with me. I don't know, and I can't trust that I'm going to be in an okay place and space. So, and of course, he was lovely, and just like everybody else, and said, whatever you need, baby, whatever, doesn't even matter. That's not what all of this is always all about. But if we can make it happen, that's okay too. So, I was very honest and open with everybody about, kind of what's going on. So I was very pleased that would be a possible opportunity to connect. And then about 4 or 5 days before I actually left, a play partner that I have lives in Denver, and I did not reach out to him. I was in Denver. I did not reach out to him because I just didn't know how I was going to feel. I thought, I can't reach out and then say, no, I can't do this. I'm actually at this other event. There's other things going on. So I would hate to accidentally kind of dangle a carrot and then say, but we can't meet. So I decided not to reach out to him. Out of the blue, he texted me like 5 days before, not even a week before, and said, hey, and we actually are going to see each other at the end of this month. Oh, that's the other thing that we're doing.
Oh, that's
in
right.
September. Shit. That's how much things are upside down. Yeah. I'm going to see him in September in Vegas. And he was texting just to say, hey, I'll see you in about a month or so. And I said, hey, I'm going to be in Colorado in like 5 days. And he said, holy shit, why did you not tell me? And I said, well, this is what's going on with me. So I told him about the things that have been going on. And so he said, look, let's see if we can connect. And, if you have time in your schedule. And I did. And it was important to be able to see him. And I had already even kind of set aside time thinking I might touch base with him, but I didn't. So that was so crazy that he contacted me, and we both had a good laugh about that. So I went from knowing that I would see my dear friend, my lover, my friend, that I would see him at least twice, to then now there was an opportunity that I might be able to run into some other people. And so I was like, okay, we'll see what happens. We'll just go with the flow. And so it turned out actually rather well. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about it without going into too much graphic detail. Although I know you guys love graphic detail.
I love graphic detail.
I know. And Tristan did get all the graphic details.
I got all the,
I will not
I got all
go,
the graphic details.
I'll get as graphic as I can without being overly graphic. So I show up in Colorado, and my friend that actually I had family that lives there too. I was a very busy woman, so I actually connected with my family that lives out there, and had that, and so then after I connected with my family that was out there, the rest of the evening was free on that particular first night. And my friend that we had never connected, so we're going to call him guy number 2. So number 1 is my lover buddy that I travel and I see when I'm traveling. Number 2 is potential, bud. And number 3 is my playmate, my Denver playmate. So this was number 2. So number 2, he happened to be around when I was there were so many things that were just kind of like, oh, if I see you, I will see you. And then we would see each other. And so it was kind of crazy, and it felt very, if you're into, the universe had a nice hand in that. If you're into that stuff, I kind of am. So I appreciated it very much that I'm like, we're going to go with it and see what happens. And all this stuff fell into my lap. So he and I connected, and that was the first time that we'd ever been together, sexually. And it was so unexpectedly amazing. We connected on a level that was unexplainable, in the sense that I like him. We like each other. We've always gotten along. We've always been flirty. But the intensity that kicked in once we started getting physical was what caught us both off guard. We were both like, what the fuck is, like, how can this be this intense and this exciting? And part of it, or one of the things I told you, Tristan, when you guys will hear about it, there was an event, a workshop that we did in New Orleans. Dragonfly and E did a workshop, and they call it Sexual Connections or something. And basically it's about kind of just being mindful and being in the moment and not talking to someone, but actually letting your senses kind of drive you with your connection. So it's not really even looking at the person. It's not about physicality. It's about energy and pheromones and touch. And you guys will hear us talk about it. It was one of the most amazing experiences of things that we've done. And we all loved it. And in that particular exercise, though, I talk about the fact that I didn't get a connection like that with someone. I know it exists. I could see it happening for other people. There just wasn't anybody that was it was so visceral. Mm-hmm. And I think you had.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so, you guys can hear all about that when that episode comes out in a couple of weeks. But all of us had that except me. All of you guys had some kind of a super visceral reaction to someone. And I saw it and we all talked about it. And I had nice reactions, but I didn't have anything like that. And then with number 2, I said to you that I get it. Mm-hmm. Like, holy, because like I said, we've always been attracted and flirty to each other, but it was nothing like what happened when we got in each other's space. And it took off and it was a fire and it was amazing. And it's that kind of chemistry has only happened to me probably 3 times that I can even remember in the lifestyle. And he might be number 3. Phoenix was 1. Our playmates from our very first time in Naughty.
Yeah, I know.
I can't remember what we called them.
I think we just called them our Atlanta couple.
I think we did, yeah. And gosh, I really feel like there have been others that have been, but this was so fast and so instant and so chemical. Yeah. I can think of maybe 2 others that do kind of fall in that category too, now that I'm thinking about it. But anyways, so it was totally unexpected, totally took both of us by surprise, and we could not get enough of each other. And that was an amazing experience and an amazing thing to happen when I haven't been feeling like I could get interested in anything or anyone besides you and Phoenix. It's been very, very challenging to feel open and vulnerable and sexy and wanted by anybody else. And so it was insane. And I'm sure all of this stuff had something to do with it, but it totally took me off guard because I haven't been feeling any of those things. And then when that happened and everything just, at all of my guards, everything, all those feelings, all of those emotions, everything just dropped. And it was just like, it was gone. And so it was so amazing and so wonderful. And there wasn't anything like super crazy. It was just a lot of hot sex. It was great. It was a lot. It was a lot of, like I said, we couldn't get enough of each other. And every time we would stop, we would all of a sudden find ourselves back on top of each other, entwined, and him inside of me. And it was just like, our bodies just kept coming back together. It's like, no, okay, we're going to stop. We're going to take a break. You drink water. We're going to, let's just talk for a few minutes. So surprising that I love to sit and chat. So we're chatting and then all of a sudden we're while we're chatting. And I'm like, wow. I mean, we both are like, what is wrong with us? This is not, And so it was really, really wonderful because it was totally reciprocated. And I think that fueled the fire. And that really kind of set the stage for the rest of kind of the week. It really, I could not have planned it ever. First of all, because I didn't even know I was going to see him. And then secondly, I would have thought that there would have been this kind of connection. And it was insanely wild. And you liked hearing about it.
Oh, yeah, I loved hearing about it. Yeah, and because of the time difference, I wouldn't.
Oh, that's right.
I wouldn't get my updates until, well after I was asleep or well after I was already in my office working. And so, that was frustrating.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, well, because on that particular evening, I thought I'd be back.
I mean, it's only a 2-hour time difference.
But it's, 2 hours, though. I come home at 2. That's 4 a.m.
Right,
for
exactly,
you. I mean, 2 a.m. is normal for us at a normal time.
But during the week, for me, no.
Right. Right. So yeah, so it was late, but yeah. So I would fill you in on our details and like
Oh yeah.
just got home and or just got back to my room, and so it was really really hot, and I don't even know that I could explain any more besides to say it was just really fucking hot. So it was awesome and amazing. And then the next night, I was able to connect with my buddy number one, and we had a lovely evening together. We both were running late that particular day, so we didn't have as much time as we would have liked to have spent together. So we knew we were going to see each other again though during the week, and so it kind of was nice. It kind of took the pressure off of it having to be gosh, we don't get to see each other very often, and now we have this one night together, because sometimes that's how it can be. But this, we knew we would have another night together, and so it was just it was a loving, caring, sensual, touching time. And again, I think it was nice because I didn't feel like I could feel that way, and then all of a sudden being open and receptive to it felt wonderful and amazing, and again continued to fuel that fire. So we had an amazing, lovely, comfortable, soft, and gentle and loving time together, and it was beautiful. So that was the next night, and then the next night was my night with my Denver playmate.
Mm-hmm.
So my Denver playmate happens to be someone that we met at another event,
Mm-hmm.
who is well versed in being with hotwives.
Well, very well stated.
Thank you. That's my politically correct way of saying what?
What?
That he is a...
Oh, he's a professional.
He's a bull. Now, I did not meet him in that capacity, in the sense of we were not necessarily looking for a bull. We just happened to be in an event that there were some of these folks that were there, and he was there.
He's an incredibly engaging, wonderful man, and we had such a great time talking to him.
Yeah, when we met him that very first time.
Yeah, the very first night at the meet and greet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you met him.
Yeah,
all four of us met him. Yeah, we all four met him, and just a super engaging guy, gregarious and funny, and
he's one of those people that like you, who just have this gravitational pull, and he's like you. Just the sort of person that you just want to be around and you want to talk to.
Yeah, he does. He's very, very comfortable. It's very, very comfortable to be around him, and you,
because he makes
super
you feel
engaging.
He makes you feel comfortable.
Yeah, and asks questions, and is interested in what you say, mm-hmm. and some of those lost art of communication skills, like, oh, he looks at me when I talk to him. What an odd thing to have happen. Or he's actually asked me questions about something that I say, which means he's listening. So how nice is that? But it also does help, and I've said this before, I've had experiences where I may have an opportunity to play with men that aren't as well versed in the lifestyle, or aren't as used to being with many partners, or aren't used to navigating those waters. And that can be challenging if you're not used to it. Well, I will tell you, he walked in the door and it was like I'd seen him yesterday. And we picked up where we left off, and we just started talking, and it was just that the connection was still there, but it was so easy and so nice, and mm-hmm. He also knew that I was having some issues going on. I didn't quite go into depth with him about it, but it was just like it was I couldn't have planned a better thing. So meeting up with him was amazing. Yeah. You can't beat chemistry when it all clicks. Mm-hmm. And we had a really fucking hot time. It was great. And I had asked him, originally we had actually even talked about him staying the night. And I said, listen, I would love for you to stay the night, but I have the most important thing that I'm here for this conference for is for me tomorrow morning was at really early in the morning, and I knew I had to get up, and I was afraid if he stayed that we would wake up having sex many times and I would not be on my game on Thursday. So so I said I would love to have you, but I can't. You cannot spend the night. So he showed up and we got done playing. We were taking a little break, and I'm like, you know, you could kind of stay because you were a little tired. And we took a little snooze, and he said, I didn't bring any clothes. He told me I couldn't stay, and he said I didn't. He said I almost thought about throwing a suitcase. I thought about throwing a suitcase in the car, but I didn't. I was like, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. It was me being weak and greedy and horny, and my pussy was on fire because I had had all this sex. And so I wanted to so anyway, so all of the emotional piece to it, and then meeting up with him and having this experience where someone who I've been with before and have met before and is well versed in a woman's body, and it was kind of like the cherry on the cake but it was so fascinating having time with him, because we've spent time with him before and you were there as part of the fun time. And so this time it was just the two of us, and it felt different. It was a different dynamic, and I really enjoyed it. It was private. I said to you when I got home, I felt like it was a moment for us, whereas a lot of times in these, when you're doing hot wife stuff, it's very common. I love for Tristan to come in and watch and sit, and sometimes he's invited to participate, and then that means I get to be with two gentlemen. So I really enjoy that atmosphere also, and that's how we had met, number 3. And so in my mind, that's kind of how the evening would go. Like, it was going to be much more of a very powerful, like it was before, and it wasn't. It was very soft and sensual, and which made it even more magical because I was expecting more of a not a wham bam thank you ma'am, but that's in my mind, that's what I'm thinking, but that's not what I'm meaning. But you know what I'm saying, just something way more physical, powerful. Get in there and fuck like crazy, and then see you in a few weeks. And I would have been okay with that, but not always. But it was lovely that it wasn't, because it's way more my style to have those sensual type interactions that we did. So we did, and again, that wasn't planned or talked about, or just is what happened, and it was amazing and wonderful. And so I wanted to kind of come on, and I said to Tristan, I would really like to record and talk about my adventure in the sense of without getting too much into the nitty-gritty, because that's not what it's about. It's about the fact that I was able to kind of accidentally reignite that fire a little bit, and it felt amazing and wonderful, and all those stressors and all those things are still there, and they're still here when I got home. And then you're catching up with work when you're gone for a week, and you have to, there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. And nothing changed, when I got home. Family stuff and my mom stuff, all that stuff is still here. But it was like, you could see the light in the distance. It was so refreshing and so wonderful. And I'm not so sure that it was just the perfect timing of everything to happen. It was, and I don't mean it in an ugly way, honey, but it was great that you actually weren't there, because none of this would have happened if you were there. It's just, we wouldn't have been in that dynamic. We wouldn't have been in that mindset. We wouldn't have been, and sometimes Tristan travels with me when I travel. And so, it worked out really well in the sense of it allowed me to tap into something that I'd kind of forgotten that was really even there.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of talk about that because it was so unexpected, so organic. And Tristan and I were talking about when I got home, like literally on the drive home. And I said, I was very excited about the fact that this had all happened, and I felt human again. I felt like a woman again. Not that you and Phoenix don't make me feel that way. You guys do, but it's, what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You guys love me. And so I can come out with hair all over the place and no makeup on and whatever. And you guys will both say, "You're beautiful." And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I get it." But it was nice to actually be beautiful and feel beautiful to someone who doesn't normally see me that way or normally see me at all. I mean, obviously, I'm hoping they think that I am. But it was just so welcome and so wonderful and so unexpected. And when we were coming home and you said something about, having all of these experiences, and I said, this was not supposed to happen. I had made arrangements to meet my one friend and knew that there was a possibility that maybe I would see number 3 because he lived there, but hadn't really set aside, I had set aside the day, but I was really not planning on touching base with him at all. And then for it to happen where I was able to connect with 3 amazing men, all organically, all just happened to fall into place and fell into place like, well, gee, I only have, I'm here. I'm here too. Oh, okay. Well then, holy shit. Then let's connect. And so, so I said to you that I don't know if you go back and listen to the first Hotwife episodes where I kind of turned that switch on, which are episodes, 18, 19, and 21 or something like that?
18, 20, and 21.
18, 20, and 21. You'll hear that I did a lot of work. There was a lot of work that went into meeting the men that I wanted to meet. And so I went on coffee dates with everybody first, and then I decided if there was going to be time that I could play. So there was a lot of energy and time and thought and commitment that went into it. And I said to Tristan that if I had to do that, like if I'd changed my profile on SDC and said, hey, I'm going to be, in Colorado for a week and tried to connect with people, I had no bandwidth to do that, and I had no mental capacity to do that, and I had no energy to do that. First of all, I was not in a place that I could do that. I was busy the entire time. So I knew none of that was going to happen. So I had pretty much not worried about it. I'm just like, oh, whatever, it'll be what it is. And I'll be able to see my one amazing friend who I adore and love seeing when I'm able to see him. And even if to see him once would have been great. We actually ended up seeing each other twice. So it was fantastic the way that it happened for me, because that is how I love for things to happen. And when things happen that way, that's when I open my eyes and I say, ooh, stuff is falling. Like this is stuff when things fall into place really, really easily, it's like, don't lift that gift horse in the mouth. So it was phenomenal. And it was exactly what I needed to come home and feel a little bit refreshed. I felt like the clouds have lifted a little bit, not all the way. And there's still other stuff that's going on. I'm still trying to figure out what's going on with my body and looking into figuring out what all that's going to do and how that's going to be. But it certainly was a great stride forward, feeling that at least I still have that desire in me when that switch is turned on.
Right. So much so that you texted me in the middle of the week and said, hey, is there anything going on this weekend? Any parties going on? What's happening at Caliente? And we wound up going to Caliente that Saturday night. And so,
yeah.
So yeah, I could tell the difference in you even midweek just through texting. And when I picked you up at the airport, I could tell that you had been refreshed and that obviously all the same stuff still here, but you I think had a glimpse of, okay, this is going to turn around,
right?
And here was a little refreshing glimpse of where you can be going.
I think it was also a validation that I still found it exciting and fun. I mean, I've been doubting that will I even find sex with other people besides you and Phoenix fun anymore. Like it's been that bad. And so I was relieved to find out
I'm relieved too.
that there are other people that can push those buttons because I mean, and if it's just you in Phoenix for the rest of my life, I am in it a blessed woman. I mean, I have two amazing men that are just, I mean, there is nothing that I want for sexually at all between the two of you. That's not it. But there is just something different when it's someone new and someone that you haven't been with before, and you're finding all that stuff out and what works and what doesn't. And like with number two and I, because we clicked and we didn't know we were going to click, it was even more exciting, more tantalizing, like, oh, wow. And then it was like we couldn't talk enough. We couldn't get enough of understanding what each other wanted and what we wanted to try. What do you want to do? I mean, and it wasn't like anything crazy at all. And we didn't do anything. It was just regular, vanilla sex, actually, quite honestly. But it was super passionate and super intense and super a lot. And yeah, I was like, oh, I was actually sore when I got home, and I didn't have a bathtub at where I was staying in the hotel, and I was like, oh, I would have loved to have taken a bath. So, but I'll trade that. I'm not. That was not a negative at all. I'll happily take that soreness to feel that rejuvenated and refreshed, and yeah, reawakened. Reawakened was the term for the mental and emotional piece that really was there. The sexual piece, because I am sexually active. I'm sexually active with you guys, and so it wasn't like that needed to be reawakened, but it was the whole package.
Yeah.
The whole package was, and it was insane and awesome. And number one and I got to spend the very last night together, and it was beautiful and wonderful, and we just spent amazing hours together. Just reconnecting, and it was just great. Oh fucking God, it was just whole great. Oh, what an amazing gift I got by being able to spend time with these three fucking fantastic, amazing men. So thank you, number one, number two, and number three. If you ever even listen, I don't think they listen, so it doesn't really matter, but someday if you ever listen, and if you want to know which one you actually were, I'll fill you in if you haven't figured it out. Number three knows who he is, so it was easy to figure out. But the others know who they are. I'm just kidding. Yeah. But anyway, so I wanted to share that with everybody, and I said to Tristan, I would really like to talk about this because it doesn't negate everything else. But oh God, it was so refreshing to have a window open for just a little bit of a while that I wanted to tell everybody else who's reached out to me and said, yeah, I feel the same way. If some just magically falls into your lap, go with it, because it was awesome. And it just reminded me that I am still here. I am still me. I'm still, what I want is still there. Having connections with amazing people is what I love in the lifestyle. And I had the opportunity to be with, like I said, three amazing men. And it was a gift. It was a real gift. So, yeah, that was my week last week.
I was very excited the entire week, knowing this was going on and getting my updates and knowing that you were, and I could sense it, as I mentioned earlier. I could just sense that there was a weight lifted off of you and that you were enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
In all ways. And so that makes me happy.
Thank you. It was wonderful. Kiss you for your support. You get a good kiss. Yeah, so that was it. So Hotwife experience big time. And I did come home also and tell Tristan I will be doing more of that.
Yeah.
Told Phoenix too. And then we all started talking about maybe we all need some kind of solo-esque or reverse couple times to spend together. But I'm committed to doing this. Even if this was a fluke. This where you set something where I just tell the universe where I'm going and then people show up at your door, basically. That's wonderful. And universe, keep doing that. I'm totally down with it. It worked out great. Totally down with what you've got in store if it's something amazing like that. But it was being gone, being out, being by myself, having those moments to myself. I literally took part of an entire day and said, I need to do something for me. And it was nothing. I just sat in the room and did some reading that I wanted to do, did some journaling that I wanted to do. It's nothing that I can't do here, but it just felt different because I was kind of by myself and I could breathe. It had been a while since I felt like
I'll change. No, I'll say that you can't do here, because when you're here, there's always something to do.
True.
And if it's not me in the other room, it's the kids in the other room, or it's Phoenix and Crimson, or our cats and dogs, or laundry, or there's always something to do. And when you're by yourself in a hotel room halfway across the country, 3/4 of the way across the country, none of that stuff's around.
Right.
So you can then just unplug and experience yourself.
Right. So I did. I unplugged a lot. And I experienced a lot. And I kept going. Number 2 was he was not as well versed in dealing with women who sometimes squirt.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept saying, there's no way I can continue to have orgasms and squirt like this, and as dehydrated as I was, and we made a mess. So sorry, staff of the hotel. But it was just like, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Like, it was like I wouldn't have even been able to plan. I just couldn't plan for any of these things, and that was the most amazing part. So I could sit here and bask in the glow of my sexual escapades for another hour or two, but you guys get the idea. So don't, I don't know. I almost wanted to say that I was kind of trying to go into that week with a fake it till you make it attitude, but I really wasn't, because I didn't have to, and even if none of this ever worked out, it wasn't what I was going to do. I knew I was going to see one man that I totally adore and love spending time with, so I didn't even have to worry about it. And so it wasn't like that. But the part that was more challenging for me, which is so unusual for me, is wanting to or going down and actually networking and schmoozing with tons and tons and tons of people. That I found a little bit more challenging this time, but that's because I needed some of that downtime. And once I kind of had that day where I kind of took that time for myself, I was much more able to be energized to then go forth and talk to everybody else and do things like that. And I've never had to pay any attention to those kinds of things. Being around people is what actually energizes me, usually. Being engaged in conversation and socializing, getting to know people, that feeds me, that excites me. It's like, ooh, there's something else to learn or somebody else to meet. And very rarely does that bring me tired. Does that make me tired?
Yeah.
And it did at this event, but I was able to recognize it very quickly, and then be like, oops, I think I'll skip this next session because it wasn't that important, and I'll go get a coffee, or I'll just go get a beer. I would go to the sports bar and just sit at the bar and have a beer. And usually people would find me and talk to me, but it was just great. And it was a welcome thing. And so I do plan on traveling at least a couple times a year by myself to, if nothing else, just have that moment, have that a little bit of a disconnect. So it was great. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all there is. I mean, there's lots of fun sex in there, and lots of orgasms. I think I finally dried up. Maybe. I don't know. But it was
by the time you came home, you had replenished, though.
I know, right?
Yeah,
you and I had our first night back. Wowza. Mm-hmm. I think I was still excited, honey.
I think you were.
Yeah, no, I was so excited to be home with you, babe.
It's a combination.
It was a total combination. Yeah, that was kind of hot too.
Yeah, it was very hot.
Yeah. So much so you texted me the next day going, wow.
Yeah, I did.
I know. It's like, yeah, wow. This is what it was like. It'll be back one of these days. It'll be back. And it showed up again. Yay. So there's hope, and I feel better, and it'll be what it is. I don't press, I don't push. I try not to worry too much. Like I said, New Orleans was tough because I didn't feel super fun and sexy, but I had a great time. And it's just going to be this way. I just have to kind of learn how to navigate these waters. So, but there's hope and there's inspiration, and just kind of throw yourselves out there, guys. If you're feeling this stuff too, don't try and force it. I don't know if that works for you, like it does for me, to be more organic and kind of just let things happen. Take the pressure off of you. I think that was honestly a big piece of it. We weren't at an event where I was like, ooh, are we going to be able to play with somebody? We weren't planning in advance. I wasn't trying to connect. I wasn't trying to hook up. It was just like, whatevs. I'll see number one. We'll have a great time. It'll be fantastic. And then it went off the charts. So there you go.
There you go.
There you go. So other than that, you guys can find us in a couple weeks. Yeah. We just told you where we're going to be, all over the place. Do you have anything else you want to add or talk about?
No. This is you. This is
all
about you.
I know. I did talk the entire time.
And that was the plan.
It was my story. I have to, but
yeah.
But it was great. It was great. Thank you for being so supportive and loving your hot wife.
I do love my hot wife.
I know. It helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps a lot that you love me being a hot wife. So, yeah, we can do more of that.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah, good deal.
Yeah.
Good deal. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Some other weird little things have happened. People kind of showing up out of the blue. So I have to report back on that too. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
It's all good.
It's always good. Anyways, always a good time. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's where we'll be. So if you guys want to come find us, we'll wrap this up. We will be at Caliente, like we said, the weekend of the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th of September. And then we'll be in Vegas for Pod Bash at the end of September. Mm-hmm. That is the weekend after the Caliente event. So Pod Bash, I don't think there are any hotel tickets left, but I believe there are day passes
I think
left.
So, yeah. And I believe that's the 28th, 29th, and 30th. It's that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, maybe into Sunday too.
Yeah, it's 27, 28, 29.
Yeah.
30, I think it is. Yeah. And so we'll be in Vegas. And so if you're in that area or whatever, let us know or reach out. We're going to be there. And
for that, that's Brian and Brenna's go to podbashevent.com or go to Brian and Brenna's Front Porch Swingers website. And there'll be links there as well.
Right.
Yep. I think we have links on our website also.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes, you can go to the events page on our website and get the link to go to that event as well. And so we're going to be busy the next couple of weeks. So we've got September is real busy, and then it kind of lets up a little bit as we move into October, November, with a few sprinklings of things going on there, and then we've already got stuff on the books for 2024. So
yes, we do.
And then of course Myrina's travel alone dates are going to be scheduled in there somewhere. And I can't tell y'all where I'm going because that'd be wrong, right?
Well, it depends. You can be selective.
That's right. Okay, everybody. All of you in...
Actually, considering that I'll be alone too, that means we probably should announce those dates.
Right, so that you
bring in the ladies.
Yeah, poor Tristan all by himself.
I'll be with Crimson, but not the entire time. So we spent 2 nights together last week. Yeah, we'll figure this out.
I don't think you're going to suffer.
Yeah, I don't think I'm
We'll put it that way. So anyways, you can always check on our website, on our events page for where we're going, where we're going to be, what we're doing. And then follow us on Instagram at Accidental Swingers, or Tristan's personal Instagram is...
Myrina's Tristan.
There you go. You can follow us on X/Twitter, whichever way you're actually going to call that. And we are, if you search Accidental Swingers, we'll come up there. And that's where we're going to be. That's what we're going to be doing. So just hang out with us, follow us, reach out. You can always email me also, Myrina at Accidental Swingers, or Tristan at Accidental Swingers. And
look us up on Cassidy and SDC.
Right.
Join our groups.
Yes, we have groups there that are free to join. And then if you're interested in joining the community, like I said, we're kind of in a limbo piece. But if you're interested and you wanted to find out more about it, reach out to me. I'll tell you all the details. Yeah. We fill everybody in eventually. But that's it for us for this time, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just making sure we didn't have anything else.
Yeah, I have nothing further.
All right. Well, good night, everybody.
All right, good night,
We'll see you
everyone.
next time.
Till next time.
Bye.